Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and you've got the top 50 by market cap right here, and everything's just moving sideways. Bitcoin is very comfortable to sit just a little over 30,000. We're on the watch for any update on the Bitcoin spot ETF, and I think when you see that, you're going to see a little pop in price. Everything is correlated. So just be prepared because nobody ever went broke taking profit. Many of you may have seen the post on X where I have been a little tough on Cynthia Lummis. I've actually been tough on her for a couple of years. She has not only just been an annoying Bitcoin maxi, but she's also been nothing but wrong. She has four biggies. When she was claiming Bitcoin is the only commodity, that was not correct. When she claimed that the Lightning Network is safe and secure, we know that isn't even close to being correct. She also agreed that Gensler was doing a great job, and she co-sponsored the SBF-supported bill. Well, now she's got a fifth biggie, and that is she sent that letter to the DOJ to try to investigate and shut down Binance with Tether. And it was using a Wall Street Journal article. Well, that article has turned out to be incorrect. Even the Wall Street Journal has issued a statement of its inaccuracy. And she had to sit next to her fellow congressman to hear him talk about the inaccuracy of this article. I called to her attention that I expect her esteemed office should undertake the issuance of a retraction of statement concerning Binance, or at the very least extend a formal apology for the inadvertent omission of the source verification within the Wall Street Journal article. But she did have to sit next to Mr. Haggerty, who explained how wrong this article was.
There's been a lot of discussion among members of Congress about the role of cryptocurrencies in funding the recent attack on Israel that was carried out by Iran-backed Hamas. Policymakers that are hostile to cryptocurrency have even gone so far as to suggest that by eradicating the crypto industry, perhaps the attack would never have happened. I find that amazing to hear, but that's some of the claims. I'd like to provide some context to these claims. The Wall Street Journal recently reported that Hamas and Palestine Islamic Jihad since 2021 have received roughly $130 million in crypto financing via offshore exchanges and platforms like Binance. It's important to note that these figures are disputed, and per independent analysis that was released just this week, could be overestimated by as much as 99%. The data analytics firm cited in this Wall Street Journal report has even disputed the estimates that were reported, stating that there is no evidence to suggest that Hamas fundraised anything close to this $130 million reported. Make no mistake, any such funding is unconscionable and should be addressed in a thoughtful, targeted way in order to choke off these terrorists. But we should do this without pushing the crypto industry overseas. In this case, we need a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. What seems to be lost in the discussion is the billions of dollars, I'm talking about billions with a B, that have been funneled to these very organizations we're concerned about, or that's their principal sponsor, Iran, with the blessing of the Biden administration.
There's great news coming out of SBI Japan, and this is their wholly owned division called SBI REMIT, which also is an on-demand liquidity facilitator that uses the digital asset XRP. They're expanding the use of the Ripplenet technology, and that was put in the announcement here for the 27th. You can see that they are using that technology now in areas up north of Japan, which is Tochigi, Gunma, and Ibaraki. And they're doing it with a bank called Shinken Bank. Now, Shinken Bank is one that really caters to servicing foreigners. And there are about 30,000 foreign workers in this area. So it's a very niche market, but very targeted. Here is the Shinken Bank chairman to the left, pictured with the representative director and chairman Nobuo Ando of SBI to the right. Back in my early teaching days when I first arrived to Japan, I used to go to Gunma Prefecture to a area called Takasaki, which is really out in the middle of nowhere in Guma Prefecture. I had a contract that was for a company that made a train part. If I remember correctly, the train part assisted trains to brake. I don't know exactly what they called that part, but it was a manufacturing plant. And there are lots of plants in this area. And this was the tiny little train station that I would go to. I went once a week for 1 year, never missed my teaching appointment there in the afternoon. Really is, I have so many memories of going to this tiny station for 1 year every week. And when I took the train back to the main station, Takasaki, to catch the bullet train, I noticed, because at the same time I was returning was the same time that the Procter & Gamble, the P&G plant across the way, was finishing their shift of workers. And there were lots and lots and lots of Brazilians, I noticed, who were taking the train also with me back to the main Takasaki station. On the platform of that tiny station, even though this picture is very small, you would look across at these big, huge, gigantic stainless steel drums. And I used to think to myself, what in the world are they making there? So today I got on Google Map, and this is the train station. And you can see these are the drums that I would be looking at, wondering what it is they're making. And now I can see the size of this plant. It's a big one. And I did find out what they make. Everything from toilet paper to soap products to cleaning products to shampoos. When you look at the demographics for that bank, you can see that there are a lot of Vietnamese in that area. 8,700. According to the government statistics here, and that's up 14% compared to the previous year. And that's followed by then workers that are coming from China, about 6,000, then from the Philippines, about 4,900, then followed by Brazil at 3,800, and then fifth place are people that have come from Peru, about 3,000. So that bank is catering to this demographic of about 30,000 foreign workers. And I hope that sometimes they spend a little of that hard-earned money and come down to Tokyo and watch some of the really fun baseball games, as I did this weekend. This was between Keio University, which Mr. Kitao is an alumni of, and the Waseda University. On this particular day, Waseda did win, and I had fantastic seats just right in front of the cheerleaders, both boys and girls. And the boys are just fantastic in terms of their passion and energy. It is really a sight to see. And moving right along, I want to congratulate Sadaf. She is going to be a new director for the Wave of Innovation. That's the XRP event that's going to happen on the Gold Coast in March 2024. She's going to bring her talent to make this an amazing event. The new brochures that I saw everybody working on are just beautiful. It really showcased the venue and talks about everything from the parties that occur over the weekend to the hackathon. And to get a peek at the quality of speakers that are going to be there, I want you to listen to the co-founder of Immersive, Jerome Fowry, who was the first to settle MasterCard and crypto, and he provides decentralized backends, including the backend for BOF, which has its sights on using XRP in their DeFi solutions.
I've been in payments since the 90s and in crypto payments since about 2017. And what I wanted to do with Immersive is to bring the best of Web3 and Web2 together in a way that could ultimately end up being a Metaverse payments business. What we like about Web2 is we've got a global partnership with MasterCard. We're a principal member of that network. That's the highest status you can have. We're the same as the largest banks in America, Japan, the UK. We're the first company to settle with MasterCard in crypto. So the platform is crypto end-to-end. We settle directly with the network. We have the ability to sponsor other parties into the network. And this means that for partners we work with, their customers can essentially transact and spend their crypto at over 70 million places around the world. The ones you had on your podcast recently was Bank of the Future. Building a decentralized bank essentially, and they've got one-click yield farming, deposits, and we provide the back end to enable them to issue their decentralized MasterCard. Is all powered by immersive technology, and so that's, I think, a really good case where we've got Web3 builders looking to innovate in the blockchain decentralized space, keep the values, but also provide utility to users. And it's all well and good to do stuff within blockchain, but at some point or another, you do need to interact with the real world. And we think a bridge is a more elegant way to do it. So that direct connectivity from decentralized applications to MasterCard, such as Bank of the Futures, is the way forward. Yeah, look, I think one way to look into the future is to reflect on the past. Yuval Harari is one of my favorite authors, and I love his historian view to predict the future for people and our species. It's clear to me that the future of commerce, physical commerce and digital commerce, will be in the metaverse. It's going to collide and overlap, and that's where the inspiration for the name immersive came from. So when I look at 5-10 years ahead, I think we're going to have these metaverse commerce experiences. I think the way to get there is through Web3. I think it needs to be an open metaverse where individuals own their assets, their data, their digital identity. I think it's safe to say that the future of currency and the future of payments is going to be digital. And so we're going from the sort of analog plastic card, plastic terminal, kind of fax phone line kind of equivalent to the app API data. Money's going to be smart. It's going to know where it is, where it's been, where it's allowed to go. You're going to have codified compliance into these networks, and you're going to have these really beautiful and elegant user experiences. And so I think what we're going to see is this new kind of internet of value with codified compliance, with smart currency, smart payment infrastructure, better values alignment with what society wants today: less centralization, more decentralization, more control for individuals, not necessarily entities. And then we're going to have these immersive payment commerce experiences. My kids, I've got 9-year-old twins. I suspect they're going to go to virtual malls with their friends. They're going to have little avatars. They'll put headsets on them. They'll go to different concerts. They'll play some games. They'll buy some stuff in these metaverse worlds. Will probably show up in real life that same day at some point in the future. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the day where that happens. So yeah, that's what I think.